I've got a real quickie for you this week. I'm going to tell you the 3 worst pieces of advice you're going to hear from MBA alumni on your MBA application journey. Hello and welcome back to MBA Monday. I'm 𝐂𝐇𝐀𝐏𝐓𝐄𝐑𝐿, the founder of Career Protocol. When you're traveling a road, it's tempting to ask people who've traveled that road before you what they did that helped them succeed and ask them for advice. In my vast experience, unfortunately, MBA alumni don't do the best job of giving advice to the people coming after them. Sometimes they do. This is not a blanket statement. But by and large, when my clients have approached alumni and asked for advice, I have been shocked and appalled at what has come back because it shows an incredible lack of awareness of what is actually effective in this process. In other words, there's a disconnect between people's understanding of what worked for them and an understanding that what worked for them may or may not work for someone else. What I've learned in my 15 years helping people get into business school is that what works for one person works for almost no one else. It's a very personalized journey. So what are the 3 things that we most often hear from alumni that can be horribly, horribly wrong in the case of you following this road behind them? First piece of advice is focus only on your test score. There's still a pernicious myth that the test score is the deciding factor. There's no question that the GMAT or the GRE or the executive assessment, whichever test your school requires and whichever one you've chosen to take, will play a role and will be important. That's why we talk about it all the time on this channel. Here's our sort of like most important video about the test scores and how to choose which one is right for you. It's outdated, but the advice still applies. So the fact that there's a GMAT focus test and the fact that the GRE is shorter, that doesn't matter. That's still the advice that you want to follow when you're choosing the test that's right for you. So check that video out. You'll see some alumni will tell you you have to take the GMAT. That is not true. You can take the GRE. It will work just as well. The test score is meaningful. It's an input into the process, but a high test score is not going to get you into school. It will help your profile, but it will not be the reason ultimately that you get in. Spending all your time working on that test score and then kind of like punting on the essays because you burned all your energy and time on the test score is going to backfire big time. You need to also have an amazing application. So work on the test score. Don't not work on the test score, but don't be fooled into thinking that just because you have an amazing test score and maybe even an amazing undergraduate that you're on easy street, because that is not how it works at the top programs. Second horrible piece of advice that alumni are tempted to give is that you have to have a certain goal or that you can't have a certain other goal. This advice is usually driven by whatever they did. You know, they said I wanted to be an entrepreneur, so you got to say that too. Or it's very popular right now to say you want to get into private equity. So that's the story you've got to put forward, even though your whole career has been in marketing and you're passionate about consumer goods. The truth is, everyone goes to business school for slightly different reasons, and everyone has a totally different future that they are imagining for themselves than absolutely everyone else. And the school needs a diversity of goals in the class because there are only a tiny handful of positions in private equity post-MBA that can actually take graduates from any given program. So if Harvard has 900 people who say they want to go into private equity, they're in big trouble because there are not 900 jobs for Harvard MBAs in private equity. They want people going into marketing, into supply chain, into human resources, into the nonprofit sector, into government, into agriculture. They need a diversity of post-MBA goals within the class. So whatever your post-MBA goal is, as long as it's very well thought through, credible, and inspiring, if you're not sure how to make it those things, check out this video that I'm linking right here and several other videos that I'm linking down below. The thing we talk about most on this channel, possibly after the test score, is your career game plan. You need to know, why do you want to go to business school? What do you plan to do after your MBA program? And that all needs to be very real, very researched, and very personal to you. So if an alum is telling you that your goals are wrong or that you have to have a certain goal to get into school X, because Wharton's known for finance, so you have to have a finance goal, that is wrong. People from Wharton go into marketing. People from Wharton go into consulting. People from Wharton go into nonprofits. People from every top program all over the world go into a variety of different things post-MBA. So make your post-MBA goal tailored to you and not to the school and not to what alums might unfortunately tell you. And the third biggest bad piece of advice that we hear from alums, and this is a bit more general, it's a bit more tailored, it's a bit more specific, but it's related to the previous one, which is you have to do X, some specific thing in your essays. So again, it's natural to extrapolate that if I did something and I got in, that's gonna work, and it'll probably work for everybody else. So there's this tendency to extrapolate from your own experience to what's gonna work for everyone. And again, even more so than with goals, it is just not true that there is any specific thing that you have to do in any specific essay for any specific school to get in. You want your essays to reflect your best self as an authentic and earnest attempt to answer the question that the school is asking. That means you need to reflect deeply on the question. You need to think about your own experiences. You need to get into the nitty-gritty of your experiences so that you can show the school in response to the question who you are and how the MBA fits into your future, where you're headed, all these things about values and character and who you really are. That's the only thing that you have to do, and that's highly personal, and the essay could look very different between you and someone else who gets in. Your essay will undoubtedly be very different from your alumni friends because you're a different person. So be wary of anyone. Could be an admissions consultant, could be an alum, could be a family friend, could be anyone, telling you that things have to be this way or you're not gonna get in, because that just isn't true. It's a personal journey, your story is unique to you, and all the things that make you who you are different from what makes everyone else who they are. And that's what your application really has to focus on and make shine. So if you are going to pursue the advice of MBA alumni at the schools that you're applying to, proceed with extreme caution. You should, of course, be open to input from others. You should, of course, be open to their perspective and any information that they have to share with you. But make your own decisions. Think about who you are. Think about what you want to say. Think about how you want to be known in your MBA applications, where you're headed, what your goals are, what truly ignites your heart desire, and put that in your application. Whatever works for you is what works for you. And then do your best to be a cool alum. Don't pass on the advice that whatever you did is what someone else has to do later in the process, because they're on their own journey. We all are. That's the nature of life. Ooh, it's getting deep in here. By the way, if you want more tailored and customized advice that's gonna take you on the unique journey that you're on, please go to careerprotocol.com/join and play our email game. It'll help you connect with your values and make sure that your unique character is shining in your MBA applications. I'm actually a little bit curious. Have you been talking to alums? Have you gotten some advice that makes you think, I'm not sure if I should be following that advice? Or maybe you've gotten some really bad advice, or maybe you've even gotten good advice. Scroll down and leave me a comment. What advice have you heard from MBA alumni that either you like or you're suspicious of? Let's see if we can come to an agreement in the comments section of what's good advice and what's bad advice from MBA alumni. I'm really excited to hear your perspective, and I hope you will hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so that you can join me next week and every week after that, because I will be here on MBA Monday debunking the nonsense that's out there about MBA applications and helping you follow your one unique path to your career dreams, whether that includes an MBA or not. But especially if it does include an MBA, I'll be right here next week on MBA Monday.
Yeah, I'm ready.